Players should be pretty excited for the next 6 weeks in War of the Visions, as there is a lot coming out and there's a lot of limited stuff, units, espers, vision cards, you name it. So let's go over what's coming out so you can decide how to save your Visior, but also ultimately how to spend it. As always, this information is based off of the JP schedule. It's never 100% accurate. There might be a global first unit thrown in there somewhere. They might rerun other units. Who knows what's going to happen, how they want to plan this out before the half anniversary. So we'll just go with what we do know, and then that can help inform your decision. Now, before we get into the video, I just have one single request for each of you, and that's to like the video, because that type of thing actually really helps the metrics of the video. It's such a simple thing to do, to just like the video, and it helps me out a ton, helps my discoverability. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So next week, we're expecting the Queen of Hourne Macherie, and I'm not going to go into full detail because I did cover her in my last unit planning video, but she is a pretty interesting unit. However, with all of the wind units coming out right now, and then Glaciela coming out after the upcoming collabs, it's a really hard time to be an Earth player. Some might even say that Earth players, you know, someone has it out for them. Who knows who, but it's a problem. Either way, she is a good unit. She's got double cast re-raise for herself. She's got a very powerful strike magic attack that it's not affected by Runic Blade. So there's lots of cool things going on with her kit. She's definitely a unit that if you pulled later on, that you could be happy and, you know, slow build and get some good use. And she's even got a very, it's a specific but a very interesting and good TMR as well. So don't pull for her, you know, but still, she's interesting. Then in September, we get the Sheratan VC and Esper, and it's pretty good. So the bestowed is 8 accuracy and 10 AoE resist, and whenever we see 10 AoE resist, that's a good thing. We'd love to see that on a bestowed ability. It's also a 50% magic up and 10% slash resist up, 25 accuracy up party effect for Earth units. Now, we already have a accuracy card in Calum, so some players might not even want to get this one. However, this is much better than Calum in basically all the other effects. So this is a very nice card for Earth magic teams. It's going to have a global buff for Macherie, presumably. While Earth is in a tough spot, this is still a very good VC. So loyal Earth mains are probably going to be pulling for this card, and maybe even Macherie. We'll see kind of how that all goes. Also, it comes with an Esper, and the Esper is good. The notable thing about this Esper, it's a magic-based Esper, is that it actually has 5 AoE resistance on it, which is not a very typical node, and it also has slash resist. So this is actually a pretty decent defensive Esper as well. Going into our second week of September, we should get the Part 1 Final Fantasy XIII collab, and there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out with this collaboration. So first of all, we're going to get a free unit in Hope and a free vision card in Alexander, and then you'll have the chance to pull for Lightning and also for her vision card Odin. So we're going to start by looking at Lightning as a unit, and she's a lightning physical attacker with slash and missile attacks. She's got all around good stats. She's a critical hit unit. She has a Noctis slash Astrius extra hit mechanic, and she's got the sniper and Viking subjobs, so more slash and more missile attacks and utility. She also has slow, she has barrier breaks, she has survivability, and while she only has slash resist penetration on her limit burst, she still has these multiple attack types, and we can fix that a little bit. She doesn't have any missile pen, but basically she's going to be a strong critical hit attacker, a very good addition to the Lightning cast, and I think that Mysidia is going to be pulling for her. Next up is Hope, who is a light support unit. He's magic based. He's handed out to all players, and he has the Time Mage and Red Mage subjobs, so he can raise the slash and magic resistance of teammates by 30%. He can also buff allies' attack, especially light units, and he even has a chaining LB. He is not a healer, and I would say that he's a pretty specific unit. He's definitely somebody that I would put into the barracks, depending on who your targets and, you know, whatever units you have in the barracks. But he's not going to be somebody that I'm going to spend Visior on. Now, some light players might do that. I think that there's so much going on that I just can't afford to put any Visior into him. I will say that for any new players that start during the collab, if you're going into light as an element, limit, then this is a really easy chance to build a light unit, in which case you would likely do it. Let's talk about the Odin Vision card, and it's for lightning units. The bestowed is 10% attack up and then 15 accuracy, which you love to see. The party effect is 20 AoE resistance, which lightning did not have yet, and then 18 lightning attack up and 20 critical evasion. So the 20% AoE resist cards are very valuable, so this one is certainly solid. Critical evasion is valuable as well, but I'd like to see more on the card. I think that serious lightning players are definitely going to pick this up. It's going to have lightning, the unit boosts for the global side. I'm sure of that. So overall, it's a good vision card. I know that some people might just be happy using their holiday AoE resist or their death machine AoE resist, but in case you didn't get those, because those are limited, this is a chance for you to get one for your lightning team, so definitely worth looking at. Alexander is going to be given out for free to all players, and it is a pretty interesting VC as well. The bestowed has 10 magic attack and 5 AoE resist, and then the party effect is 25 accuracy, 25% magic up, and then max damage limit 2500. It's a very solid card. I think that light players will know if they need to build it or not. Any new player with light units, again, you're going to build this card. This is a card that I'm definitely considering building just because it's a 25 accuracy card, and the 25% magic up is nice as well. Of course, if you put that in the sub slot, you lose a lot of that magic, but it's still a very decent card, and you might want to build it just because you can't slow build limited VCs. At the same time, it really depends on your account. The following week will be the Final Fantasy XIII collab part 2 and the return of FFT collaboration. Final Fantasy Tactics is back, but we're going to start by talking about Snow, who is a ice physical tank with an 8 hate. He's actually kind of interesting. He doesn't generate hate with his kit. He just has 10 and 8 hit, 5 from his master ability and then 5 from a passive that you have to equip. So he doesn't use any skills to generate any extra hate, but he has some pretty awesome skills. So his TMR is 2 use. It gives 30 accuracy and 25 ice attack to himself and to an ally. He has 20% slash resist, which is very nice to see, but he's weak to magic because he is a physical tank after all. His stats are kind of mixed. So he's got low attack, he's got low HP for a tank, he's got decent agility. It's not high, but it's not like super low either. But you can look at his low attack and then look at what his attack type is, and it's strike. So that kind of makes up for it a bit. He's got courage. He's got the Leela effect where when you go below 20% HP, you then recover your HP. He's got a 20 spirit and defense buff, and he's even got like an AoE resistance buff. So he's really looking like a pretty solid physical tank. He's got a full dispel. His LB has a 67% chance to stun. His range is pretty low, but he is a tank, so people are coming to him. He's kind of running at them, so he will get into range to use some of these abilities. He's definitely looking like a pretty solid unit for ice teams to run, but not a spectacular unit for just anybody to pull for. Shiva will be Snow's vision card, although I think that some ice players that don't pull for Snow might just pull for this because it's pretty good. He's got a bestowed of 10 single target resist and then 5% HP, and then it has the party effect of 25% defense penetration, 18 ice attack, and 20 wind resistance. So having that defense penetration on a VC is just so juicy. I love that effect, and the fact that you can just get any of your ice units some extra defense penetration will be a big deal, and I think that a lot of ice players are going to pick this up regardless of how they feel about Snow. And the single target resist, that's really good too. So definitely a very strong VC. If you get Snow, you should get this VC, and if you don't get Snow, you should maybe still get this VC if you're a big ice player. For the Final Fantasy Tactics collaboration, we're going to see Ramza, Orlando, Agrius, and Delita all return with EX jobs and Master Ability 2s, as well as we're going to get the Science VC, the Blades of Grass VC. We're going to get the Red Chocobo VC in Esper. Mustadio will be an MR that you can pull for. Gafgarian will be a handout MR unit, and everybody's getting EX jobs. They're all getting, Master Ability 2s. And if you were looking for a breakdown of each of those units, VCs, etc., I'm sorry, it's not this video. I'm going to do a separate Final Fantasy Tactics overview, and you can look forward to that. But basically, all that information is on War of the Visions Calc, so you can go check it out. But I think that most of these units are going to be for people that like them, and they're fine, but they're not spectacular. The vision cards are very good, especially because they're not specific to elements like the new vision cards that we have. So the agility on Scions and the accuracy on Blades of Grass are for all elements. It makes them pretty valuable. At the end of September, we will get the revolutionary Glaciela, and I did a full breakdown video comparing her to Summer Jaden, which is pretty weird apparently. And if you want that breakdown, you can go check that out. But basically, she is a mostly close range unit with high attack, and she is a critical hit unit. She's got good accuracy. She's got wind imperil. She can dispel courage, re-raise. She can barrier break. She's got slow infliction. She can do AP breaking, dispelling, and she can even extend elemental chains even if a unit acts. So she's really good. She's got decent survivability. She's got AP restore on her critical hits. She's overall a really strong 100 cost unit. She's not limited. So this is our first not limited unit after a stretch of limited units. You might be spent at this point, but I think that wind is in a good spot right now, even with ice coming down the line here. Ice is going to get very strong, but I think still that this will be a pretty appetizing unit for wind players to go for. I don't think that she's a general unit that people should pull for, and new players starting out, I mean, really, you have so much time to prepare your team that she'll be fine for you. But you know, I mean, I think the collab units are probably a better place to start the game. Finally, we get to October, and we're expecting Dark Tetra Sylphid, which is a vision card for fire and wind units. The card is attack based, but it also has dexterity stat, defense, agility, and luck stats on it. So lots of goodies for your unit. The bestowed is 20% attack and 5 AoE resistance, and the party is 25% man killer for physical attacks, 10 missile resist, and 15 single target resist. So that's a lot of stats in a party effect, and that's where it's good. It doesn't look remarkable on its own, I'm going to admit, but when you actually start to think about that you're getting so many things in one card and you can mix elements, it is a good vision card. Now, is it as good as the other dark vision cards that we've seen? I don't know that it is. I'm not going to be pulling for it. The pity for it is astronomical, and I think that the players that will be going for this know exactly what they're going to use it for, and everybody else should stay clear. However, the Esper is all right. It's not as good as Dark Odin, but it's got some pretty cool stuff. It's got crit rate, it's got some earth resistance, some accuracy, some missile resist, some pierce attack. So it's an okay Esper for sure. After Glaciela and Dark Tetra, the non-limited unit and vision card run will continue for a while until JP eventually got Swimsuit Helena. Maybe that's when we'll get her. That would be at like the end of November roughly. And after that point, there's the Dragon Quest Tact collaboration. So there's going to be another stretch after this limited stretch. There's going to be another non-limited stretch. However, we're expecting a global first or global exclusive, whatever you want to call it, unit at some point during this period as well. Maybe with the half anniversary, we don't know, but definitely, you know, keep some viz in your back pocket just in case that does happen. All right, that's going to be it for this video. I hope it was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments who you're excited to pull for in this foreseeable future. My plan is to pull for Lightning and her vision card. Now, I also have enough Mind Spheres already for Final Fantasy Tactics that I'll EX Ramza and Delita right away. As soon as I get their red memories, I'm going to finish both the vision cards, and I'm even going to pull for Orlando. So that's kind of like my big plan here. And then after that, I'm just hoping that there is a fire global unit that comes out at some point. Otherwise, it's back to saving for old Mysidia. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.